Do 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 do. All right, let's get this shit going. All right, I need to change you. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. How's that? All right. Okay. I think you're muted. Damn. Stinky Diglett. Still muted. Stinky Diglett, if that's even your real name. Oh. Did it. Did it. Bum 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 bum. All right. Can you try to type in YouTube real quick for me? And we can see if YouTube is working. Also, yeah, do it. Oh my God, do it for me. Come on, help me out, baby. Come on, do it. Do I have my filters on? Audio gate on the Iron Man pajamas. Do 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 do. Yeah. Yeah. Clack, clickety clack. Bum, bum. Testing, testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Chip, chip, cheerio. Oh, that's cool, Sammy. See, look at that. Okay, works. It's working. It's working. All right, now I understand this.
Warm up while you can. We will deploy soon.
I understand. What the fuck? What the fuck was I holding on to? Yeah, 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 yeah.
Enough training. Now we face the enemy for real.
It's working. It's working. Hello and welcome to the stream. If you would, alright, let's try to learn how to fly helicopters and crash. Let's see. Where can we find one? Where are you? There's one.
Gas is closing on your position.
There's another
Suggest you
one.
get moving.
Are there any more?
This spot looks good.
Let's go for this guy.
Kilo marked.
Yate!
Hostiles dropping into the area. Watch the sky.
Ah! Eh? Ah! Let's see if we can
To my mark.
cute little loot. Let's get some cute little loot. All right. Let's get going. Woo! Up, down, up, down. Oh, the helicopters are coming. Another one. Oh shit! Why'd you do that? See if I can crush this guy. Coming in. Ah! Ah, you're no fun. Let's see if I can get a gun. And I'll fight him. I shall battle you, sir.
Eliminate all targets in the AO.
Hey. Damn it. Alright, where'd that guy go? Ah! Where's that? Wait, what? What exploded? What? What exploded? I'm so confused. I'm out of here. Hey. Stop it. Oh! That guy is much better than I am. He just one shot at me in the face. Yep, sorry about that. Is that AR, a single shot? I like it. What's that? Oh, what the fuck? It's like a skid. I cracked you. I'm like skipping a little.
Moving here.
Get it. There are some guys fighting around here. A lot of fighting over.
A charge was set in the stronghold. Move to disarm it.
What? Did I miss out on it in the 1 second I wasn't in? Hey. Ah. Ah. There's no entry from up here. Ow.
Hostile UAV in this sector. Hello? Oh wait, I think
Moving to my mark.
hello, Preach.
You've got a loadout truck inbound. Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
Oh my goodness. Very sneaky. Got You're out. Right. Up.
You're losing ground.
There's a guy around here somewhere.
Bashня, hostiles deploy the counter UAV.
Where's that going? I don't know. Don't mind me. Nothing's going on over here. Alright.
Requesting recon flyover.
Copy that. UAV is on station.
Guy right now.
Moving here.
Might be a close guy. Do this. We'll hold him. Oh, we can hold him. We can be smart. Smart.
Marking hostiles.
Be advised, UAV is exiting the AO.
I like had that. In a bush.
You've got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
I've stolen your helicopter.
Moving to my mark.
Gas is moving.
Alright, well, I guess I could just go here for a little. Risk it. Fuck it. Not this thing. My back. Best diet to support long distance running. Best diet to support long distance running is to start off making sure that you have enough calories, because a lot of ultra runners like actually don't eat enough and then have fucking issues like losing a lot of weight, a lot of muscle that like helps sustain your posture and running form when you're in those very deep miles. So just making sure that you have enough calories to sustain your actual training. And then really it's just like a calorie intake and then eating healthy. Like a specific diet has never actually worked for me at all. Like trying to be low carb or trying to cut all sugar, like just having a balanced diet, eating clean meat, like eating clean food, clean carbs, clean vegetables, like as much as possible. My diet's pretty fucking shit right now because I'm in the middle of moving and I'm eating like a single guy because I'm all alone. I'm all alone in New Hampshire. So it's basically trying to make sure that hey, who's blowing up my helicopter? Not nice. Just making sure that you have a balanced diet to start off with. That's what I strongly recommend people trying to do, is just eating healthy, not trying to go out to eat as much as possible. Once you start cleaning that up, then it's like what your body actually accepts the most, and you kind of have to do a give and take. People always are looking for like an easy diet or like a fad diet, and it's really just eating clean and eating balance, and everybody basically knows how to do that. Eat vegetables, eat clean carbs, eat clean like protein, like, you know, healthy lean steak, chicken, all that shit. Like, I'm completely different because I'm fucking Filipino as shit. So I eat mountains of rice, and my body knows how to like digest rice really well. So the amount of rice that I can actually eat is probably way different than people that aren't used to eating white rice like on a daily basis. I eat white rice sometimes 3 times a day. So you kind of have to like figure out what your body likes the most and how it's like working, which is not an easy answer, which sucks because there's never an easy answer on anything you do in life, especially with ultramarathon, especially with being successful in anything you do. There's never just like, oh, here's an easy answer. Ah! Here's an easy diet. It's like, nah, you gotta figure that shit out. It sucks. Just do a hard session. Want to get a fucking McFlurry? You want to get some ice cream or some shit? Go ahead. Enjoy it. Have a good relationship with food and your diet. Very long-winded way to answer that question. All right. Well, my game just crashed, so let's see. Now, when you're actually in the race and you're running like a 100-miler or another ultramarathon, that's something you have to also figure out, so that like a lot of people like, oh, just do this and do that, but everybody's sweat rate's different, everybody's body weight's different, their energy needs are different. So you really have to be focusing and figuring out during training in your long runs on what your body can handle and how many calories you actually properly fuel yourself for longer distance ultras or just like even regular ultras. So typically what I'll do is I'll do 2 bottles of Tailwind an hour, and then an additional 100 calories of gels or solid food. So I end up getting about 300 calories an hour while I'm running ultra marathons. And then I'll do big like amounts of food, usually around the same time that I'd be eating during the day. So the races usually start like early in the morning. So I'll have a regular breakfast. I'll I'll have a regular breakfast. You know, nothing that will oh, you know, nothing that's like super greasy or anything. Usually like some rice and some lean meat and then a bunch of coffee to get that first BM done. And then 45 minutes, 30 minutes before the race, I'll take a gel, pound a thing of water, and then I'll start the race. Once it gets around like 9 o'clock, which is usually like 4 hours to 5 hours in, I'll try to eat like an additional 250 calories to 300 calories at the first aid station. My go-to lately has been tortillas, like a giant tortilla is like 250 calories. So you eat that with a little bit of peanut butter. That's like your breakfast. Keep running. You try to get those 2 bottles of Tailwind and gels or gummies or whatever it may be. 300 calories every hour. And then during like lunchtime, probably around like 1 or 2 when it starts getting really, really hot, I try to eat again around 200 to 300 extra calories, if not more if I can, because lunch is usually my biggest meal during the day. So I'm just trying to keep that same rhythm. And then and then you and then so then I also make sure that I'm eating like a little bit extra salt during my lunch, like big intake of food. So that's like a cup of noodle, another tortilla, and then continue with the normal like food calorie intake. Um, it's a little bit more than most people actually eat, or like pros and stuff will eat, but like I need to feel more because my body's a little bit less efficient than them. So so I'll eat that big
Closing for
meal,
deployment. Take this time to warm up.
continue. I might give my stomach like an hour rest during like lunchtime. So like if your stomach starts like turning because you're eating too much food while you're running during these ultra marathons, you can always just give it like an hour rest, which I'll usually do. Try to hit a bathroom when it's really hot during the day just to give my body some rest and, you know, get that secondary bowel movement done. Um, and then I'll go in from the night. Usually once the nighttime is like coming along, your stomach's a little bit like funky and it's like a little bit harder to like keep down food, especially like gels and gummies when you're eating them all day. So then I'll usually switch a little bit closer more to like aid station food, but
Training is
always
over.
trying to
Time to see what
maintain
you have learned.
that 300 calories an hour and 100% making sure that you're trying to get at least 2 bottles of water uh, every 2 hours, especially if it's hot. If it's really, really freaking hot, like the Vermont 100 was, at every aid station, I'll chug an extra bottle of just clean water also. That clean water, like, will save your stomach immensely too. Like, I was going in, I think it was, I forgot which race it was, but I was only drinking Tailwind, and I had terrible, terrible fucking stomach issues, like
Suggest you get moving.
the entire race, and it was only because I was like continually just drinking Tailwind water, like Tailwind and water, Tailwind and water. I never had that like flush out of just clean water. So adding like an additional bottle of clean water and just like kind of pounding it, it makes you pee a lot more, but like it really, really helps. And this is, once again, you have to like figure out what your sweat rate is. I'm a super heavy fucking sweater, and I'm a salty sweater, so I have to maintain my electrolytes and my water intake a lot. Like usually people only need like a bottle and a half, maybe a bottle an hour, and I need like 2 to 3 when it's really hot, just because I sweat so fucking much. So when it starts getting dark, you know, you're like 12 hours into the race.
Target set up. Get to work.
It's late, your body's all beat up, your stomach's starting to turn a little bit. You don't want to eat that much just because, like, you know, who wants to eat when they're all fucked up feeling? And then I usually start switching over to like the yummy food, the aid station yummy food. So like if they have sandwiches, you know, stuff that will take a little bit longer to digest, and might be a little bit rougher on your stomach. But the heat's going down, right? Because it's nighttime, and your movement will probably be going down a little bit too, just because you're 12 hours into the race. So it's a little bit easier. It's a little bit easier to eat like hard food or regular food. So that's usually when I start like eating potato chips. Just look on the back of the packages of what you're eating and try to maintain that 300 calories an hour, and then make sure that you're getting in fluid, because even though you're not sweating as much, you still need just as much water, because you're utilizing that to digest food and all that shit. How did you find out your sweat rate? I found out my sweat rate with my old coach. So there's certain tests that you can do, that you can find online that are really easy to do, and it's not super accurate. Like you can actually go to labs like in universities, like fitness labs, with like universities or any athletic groups, and they can do like a full fucking test on you and like test your urine and all that jazz. I think it only costs like a couple $100 to actually do that, and I still want to really do that, just to narrow it down. But there are also, holy shit, hey, I'm trying to learn how to, come on, guy, I'm trying to learn how to fly those things. They just blew that shit up. I gotta watch my ass then. Where? Who does that? Just, oops. I pick that back up. But there's like, you can just look online for a sweat rate test. And what you normally do is like, you fucking, oh, I fell. Guy's gonna fuck me up. He's oblivious. So you basically like weigh yourself before a run. You do a certain amount of distance, and then you weigh yourself after that. And based on the amount of weight that you actually lost is your sweat rate. There's like a whole calculation that you can put in, and there's like calculators and shit online. So it's actually pretty easy. You just have to give yourself the time to do it. I think it only takes like an hour or something to actually do the sweat test. But it gives you a good indication of how much actual water and fluid you might possibly need for running. And man, I was like just figuring out your nutrition is like night and day when you're running ultramarathons. Like, it goes from feeling like a zombie on mile like 12 and like already like breaking down to feeling like you're properly fueled. It was like night and day when I actually figured out my nutritional needs. So I strongly recommend anybody that's going into their first ultramarathon or anything like that, do a sweat test and make sure that you're testing out your freaking nutrition as much as freaking possible, because that's what will save you, and that's what will get you across that line, that finish line. That's what will get your goddamn fucking belt or belt buckle, is if you know how to fucking eat and know how to fuel yourself for 24 hours. I thought it'd be that Lower East Side Warzone. No. Maybe I'll do some IRL streams later and go to the gun range or something. I think that's as far as we can go. But yeah, nutrition is, I might die. Oh shit, I was not paying attention to the zone. But yeah, definitely 100% figure out your nutrition before you get into these races, because that will save your ass. I don't know if I'm gonna be saved. Fucking game. You can't run faster than the goddamn zone. No. Please. Ah. There's like it's like part of the actual equation for the sweat test where you equate for how hot it is, and usually you should equate for the humidity also. Typically they want it around like I think 60 to 70 where oh shit. That guy fucked me up.
Back to base with you.
But yeah, they take into account the temperature of the outside on your sweat test. You usually don't want to do it when it's too hot, where if you're just like standing there and you're sweating, because that's like a false reading. So I think typically they want it around like 60 to 70 degrees. But that's something that, and with like on race nutrition, you should always be testing different shit too. Like figure out what you want in a race and figure out what you're like. If you had your best case scenario, you'll always have your like clef bars or your Morton gels or your tailwind or whatever, and have that locked down and make sure that like you understand in a perfect world exactly what you're gonna have to fuel yourself for a whole, 100 miler or 50K or whatever it may be. And then once your stomach figures that out and you figure that out, because there is a adjustment period, because not many people like train or are running and eating at the same time, so you kind of have to work yourself up to it. But once you figure that out, make sure that you start expanding and trying to find more fuel and testing out more fuel as you're running. Like go out for a run or on one of your long runs, like have an assortment of food, like potato chips or, gummy bears or the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, the normal shit that you normally see at aid stations. If you don't know or you haven't ran an ultra marathon, just go into like any forum, or you can ask me or you can ask whoever it may be and ask them what the normal like loadout of aid stations are in ultra marathons, and then like take those into your training while you're doing your long runs, so then you can start testing them out. Because if your stomach just absolutely hates peanut butter because it's like that oily fill and you have to shit every time you take a peanut butter jelly sandwich, no matter how good it looks, you shouldn't fucking eat a peanut butter and jelly goddamn sandwich if you're fucking 50 miles into a 100 miler, because you'll shit all over the place. And you know that because you did some training. So try a potato chip, try out potato chips, try out peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, mac and cheese, like grilled cheese and watermelon and fruit. The candies, they always have candies out there and shit. So like try those stuff out, so then you know how your body reacts to them while you're actually running those ultra marathons. Because not every race you'll have access to like aid station bags or drop bags. Not every race
Now we face the enemy for
will
real.
have like on-course tailwind or Gatorade or whatever you may be used to, so you might have to carry that. Like I carry these little like cocaine baggies of tailwind of 200 calories each bag, just because I want to make sure that I have that 200 calories like no matter what. So if the aid station like gets blown away in the wind or there's just nobody there. In one of my races, there was supposed to be an aid station and there were tables set up, but nobody was there because they didn't have enough volunteers to actually like be there.
Avoid the gas.
So there are always those cases where, the aid station might run out of stuff or nobody showed up to actually help out. So you have to be able to like flex.
Enemy soldier
You
incoming.
have to be able to flex and adapt to whatever you're eating or have access to. But those calories are most important. So make sure that you give it a test and give all that food that you might be seeing in aid stations just sorry.
to eliminate all targets.
Give them a shot before you actually get into a race. Always test everything before you start racing. I mean, fuck that. I don't know. That I like over prepared when I thought too much of it during the Grindstone 100. When I first ran that was my first 100-miler. I had absolutely no fucking idea what I was doing, and I just kind of ran it. I ran it with fucking minimalist shoes. I pretty much carried all my fuel in the back of my pack, so it was like super fucking heavy. And yeah, that 100-miler, the Grindstone 100, it took 33 fucking hours to finish because I was basically crawling the entire time because I went out too fast. My quads and my hamstrings got blown the fuck out because I was hammering up and down the hills too much. And then even before mile fucking 50, I was like walking and dying and like not even sure if I could finish. And but I had max amount of calories, so I was fueled, and I just kept going and walking. So I was either gonna get swept off that course, or I was gonna finish. I think the cutoff time for that race was like 38 hours, and I got done in 33 hours. And I think the course record is like 17 hours, or like 17 or 16 hours. It's a pretty hard course, especially on the East Coast. Like one of the hardest courses in America, just based off of like terrain and elevation gain. There's 23,000 feet of elevation gain throughout the whole 100-miler, which typically you'll see 100-milers around under 20. Like anything around 5,000 feet of elevation gain is considered like an easier 100-miler, a flatter 100-miler. Standard is around like probably like 12 to 15,000 feet of elevation gain.
You're losing ground.
And that also depends on like where it is and the trail community that's around it.
Locations are marked on your attack map.
Moving here. Come on.
UAV overhead.
You get a fucking helicopter. I can keep practicing. Somebody there took it. Wait,
Hostile UAV in this sector.
that's somebody? Yeah. Okay. I carried so much shit on that first 100-miler. I think I had about where'd that guy go? I think I had about 5 hours worth of nutrition every time I left an aid station. Oh, bomb drone! Ah! Alright, let's play this a little tactically. Wrap around. I just almost fucked up. Oh! That worked out well. Oh, he's got a bag too. Ah! Ah, 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 ah! Ah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Whoa, where? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Jeez.
I make the rules. Kill to escape. Die and you never leave.
Wait, I cannot see anybody. Ah!
You
Wait.
want the fight.
Excuse
Return
me,
to base.
soldier.
You fought hard out there. Return to base for debrief.
How often? So there's a rule for increasing your weekly mileage by 10%, I'm pretty sure, every week. But like, once again, and I'm probably say this fucking every single time anybody asks a question, you have to go by how your body feels. Like, you have to be really perceptive on how your body is absorbing the training, and make sure that you're not getting injured. I mean, the name of the game for ultramarathon is consistency. So even if you get 40 miles a week or 30 miles a week for 5 weeks or like 4 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it may be in a row, it's way better than getting 1 week of 90 miles and then taking 2 weeks off because you got injured. So like slowly increase it. And then how I do it is I do it in like month chunks. So I'll do like 50 miles, 50 miles, 50 miles, go down, let my body absorb it, and I'll go down to like 25 to 30 miles. A lot of like active recovery stuff, a lot of easy running, and then I'm letting my body absorb those 3 weeks of training. And then I'll go up to 60 miles, 60 miles, 60 miles, 60 miles, and then go down 40 miles, 30 miles, 40 miles, and then I'll increase again after that week of absorption, 70 miles, 70 miles, 70 miles, and then go down to like 50 miles or 40 miles. But basically, I'm letting my body like catch up with that week of rest, and that's called like a down week. And then if I feel like I didn't recover enough, I'll go back to 70 miles instead of increasing, or I'll go back to 60 miles if I need a little bit more break or a little bit more time for my body to absorb that training. And then that all leads up to like your your peak training. And your peak training should be around 6 weeks before your actual race. And then your training should look like a mountaintop. You go up, your peak training, your race is here. Hit your peak training about 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks before, and then you start going down, right? And then right here is when your body should be at its best, because hit that peak training, and then you're going down. Your body's the entire time you're going down on your mileage, your body's absorbing all the training that you've done and everything that you've done throughout those like training blocks, and ramped up and ready to go on your actual peak race. So what if I'm doing like a 100-miler, I'll go in a probably like 6-week block. I'll do like a month of 50s, probably like 2 months of 50s just to get my body primed, and that's where I am right now. And then 2 months are like a month of 60, a month of 70, a month of 80, and then I'll hit a 50-miler 6 weeks out of the 100-miler, and then I'll go back down to 60, then 60, then 50, and then the week before the race, it's like, 40, and then you're basically tapering down the entire time, and your hard taper is about 2 weeks. So try to do it at that like 10% increase a week, but really listen to your body. And the more that you run and the more that you do these, the more like crazy increases that you can actually do, because your body's just like at that base level of fitness. So starting off, try to the 10%, listen to your body. Don't feel bad about like, you know, staying at the same place for a couple months. It's just your body trying to absorb all that training while you're getting it ready to do something that, you know, most normal bodies don't want to do. And that's run 100 fucking miles.
Hostiles dropping into the area.
Because your body does not want to do that.
Down.
But make sure that you're always, before every run, before every training block, you should do an essay of how your body feels and how things
Hostile counter UAV is active.
are moving. Like, it's okay to be sore, you know, it's okay to be tired, but like if you're feeling drained just doing your like everyday stuff, if you're feeling really sharp, deep pain, that's when you should, like, you know, you take just like a week of active recovery, or take a week off and just relax, let your body reset a little bit, and then get back at it. But like, the name of the game is fucking injury prevention. Most ultramarathon runners, like, careers are over, or they don't get to their race just because they either overtrained or they try to cram all their training into like a bunch of like small, like just a couple like sessions instead of doing it throughout time. They don't even get to the start line, which sucks, because I've walked that fine line, because I was running like 100-mile weeks leading up to the Vermont 100 and the Yeti 100. I was running really hard miles, 2 a-days, on the treadmill and outside, and I was maintaining that like 80 to 100-mile training block for about 2 months. Ow, 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 ow. Sorry. Come on. Base.
Gas is closing in.
Oh,
Get
shit.
ready to fight. You're up.
Oh man, that fucking. But yeah,
In the gulag,
if you if you're looking for like a book or a guide, one of the best ones that I've seen is Relentless Forward Progress. That's a great book. They have like some template training plans and stuff for 100-milers and 50-milers that I used in the beginning of my training. But what really helped was getting a coach. So I had a coach for a couple months. We're not even paying
Done.
attention.
We're sending you back
So I had a
to
coach for a couple of months, and he was saying a lot of stuff that I read in books, but it helps like solidify it, and then it helps to have somebody to be like responsible to, like, you have to get your workouts too. And that's probably just like a military thing or something, that military is like being accountable to somebody really helped. And then it's really locking in that information that you read from books. So if you can afford getting a coach for like 3 months and getting as much knowledge as possible from them, that has really helped. I'm not even working with a coach anymore, but I take like pretty much everything that I learned from the books, from what I learned during the training, and from my coach, and then I kind of like morph it into my own training program. But relentless forward progress, strongly recommend. And then the uphill athlete, if you that's Killian Jornet's book. He has a lot of training modalities that is do. Yeah. So relentless forward progress. It's got like template template
Check your
templated
gear and
like
weapons.
training programs in the back. Great. That one's great too. That one's more like
Enemy dropping
training
into the AO.
philosophies and stuff like that. So you mix the two, forward progress and the uphill athlete, you can get a lot of good information from there and start building out
Practice is over.
a
Fight begins now.
training plan that works for you. But what you can also do is you can find these like ultramarathon coaches online and have them build you a customized training plan. So a lot of them have that option, and it's a lot cheaper, and it's a one-time payment, maybe like $100 to $200 depending on the actual coach. And they usually will take into account like your sweat rate, your base fitness, and what you've done in your past and your goals, and then they'll build you a
Move to the safe zone.
custom training plan for where you're at, the date that you're at, the date that you're on, and when your actual race is. So those are always really cool to see too. You don't get like the finer details of having a legit coach, but it is a lot cheaper. So you usually can like fill in the gaps if you're reading a lot of books, or you're ingesting a lot of YouTube videos, or you're doing your research. I mean, that's another tip that I always recommend is become obsessed with the shit. Like you should always be
You're clear to engage on target.
always be fuck, dude.
You're up next.
Always be researching, always be looking up like new things, and then always trying stuff. At the end of the day, it's consistency, it's getting in your runs, getting in your fitness and slowly increasing, but like the more knowledge that you have, the better you're going to be. Cuz knowledge is power. Oh, I ran out of bullets. Oh my god, I suck at this game.
Back to base with you.
It's so bad. Damn it. Yeah, fuck. It's smoked. Oh, son. And then also, if you have a remote job, have kids, get a fucking treadmill. Everybody fucking always talks shit about treadmills, but I've gotten so many goddamn miles on that fucking. You gotta understand what it is and the type of workout that you're doing, and it can't be the only runs that you're doing, but it's better than fucking nothing. And everybody will be like, "Oh, your fucking treadmills, it's not the same as running," and blah blah blah. But it's like, you know, if you have kids and you're in freaking New Hampshire where it's freezing and snowing and sliding all over the place, might as well get, 10 miles, fucking 15 miles on the treadmill. That really helps like keep that cardio base. You're not really getting the stimulus of running outside, especially on trails and stuff, but increase the incline. Stay on there for a couple hours or an hour or so. I did an hour and 35 minutes yesterday, and you just keep fucking around with the incline. If you can get like a fancy treadmill with incline and decline, you can literally go and run trails, like virtual trails where treadmill will go up and down for you. But I bought this treadmill on Amazon for like a couple $100, and it squeaks, and I'm pretty sure the speedometer is all fucked up, and it like the belt skips all the time. But who the fuck cares? You're getting that workout in. You're stimulating your aerobic system, your anaerobic system. You're doing uphills and shit like that. So you're getting the work in. So if you have the money, fucking get a goddamn treadmill, because then you'll have no excuse to not get in your runs and not be consistent. I ran 1,000 miles that treadmill last year. I ran almost 3,000 miles total for 2022. And I think at least 1,000 of those were on the treadmill. A lot of my training leading up to the Vermont 100, but probably like 40% of my runs were actually on the treadmill leading up to the Vermont 100. And I got a sub 24-hour 100 miler. I PR'd my 100-mile time, and it was a lot more elevation gain and a lot tougher race than the Mid-State Massive. It had like 7,000 feet more elevation gain than the Mid-State Massive. So I think I beat my time by 3 hours, and 40% of my runs were on a treadmill. And then I PR'd again after I took in that stimulus into the Yeti E100, and I ran that in like, what did I run that in? Like 21 hours or something? 21 hours. I know I got a little bit easier time, a little bit better time than that. And that was flat. I mean, we were running in a goddamn hurricane. I think it was Hurricane Ian or something. Was it Ian? But we were getting the outer bands in Western Virginia. And basically, we still PR'd. So, get a treadmill, do your research, be consistent. All I can say. I mean, that's a lot to say, actually. But yeah, get a treadmill, get a bike. I have a standing desk / bike. Can't see it right here. So I just put my standing desk up, and then I sit on the bike, and I can do 20 miles a day, 30 miles a day, while sitting in fucking meetings, just pedaling away like an asshole. I tried to do a couple Warzone Call of Duty rides, but then when I'm riding the bike and playing Warzone, when exciting things happen, I end up pedaling faster and it looks ridiculous, which is, you know, funny. Fuck you! Fuck you! Oh, again! God damn it! I deserve that. I deserve that. So.
On the ground. This is the Gulag.
Such an idiot.
In here, you fight to win back your life. Gates! Let's go!
Yeah.
Soldiers, your pathetic lives belong to me now. There is only one
Consistency
way to get them back.
is king.
Across from your barrier.
Your redeployment. Stand by.
But if you can stay consistent, you can get all running. Like if you're starting from 0 and you're like, you haven't done an ultra at all, you haven't done anything at all, it's like, start with being consistent. Start with doing something every single day. You know, it doesn't have to be a run, it doesn't have to be, you know, anything crazy, but get into a rhythm of like working out or doing something active every single day. And that will, like, once you have that locked in for like a couple months, then okay, now I'm gonna run 5 days a week, and that's a lot easier for 30 minutes, or I'm gonna walk for 30 minutes every day. And then you increase that next month. I'm gonna run for 30 minutes every day. And then it's, okay, well, I'm gonna do an hour of this every day. And then you start building out your training plan. And it's like, okay, well, now I'm gonna do fucking an AM run, PM run. I mean, it's a pretty, once you have that like foundation of scheduling and training like under your belt, it's a lot easier to shift it around. Like training is training ultramarathons takes a lot of time.
Be advised, Intel has located multiple strongholds.
It takes a lot of time, but if you're a gym rat, or if you're a gym rat, or you go out and like do classes, or you know, you watch a lot of fucking TV or whatever it may be, it's really not that much. I mean, I used to go to the gym for about an hour and a half once I got there, every, like, pretty much 5 days a week, because that's like my jam, is like kind of like muscle weight shit, or CrossFit shit, and like high intensity stuff like that. That's what I actually like really enjoy. But what the oh my god. So then when I shifted over to ultramarathon, I thought it was like a super big increase of time that I was actually working out. But if you go to the gym, you know, 5 days a week, you usually spend an hour there. If you live in the city, it's usually like 15 minutes to 30 minutes away from your house. So you're in your car, or you're getting ready to go to the gym for at least 30 minutes. And then after you're done, you get back in your car, and then you go back into your house and get ready and drop off everything. So you end up, an actual workout, when you think about it, is about, you know, an hour and a half to 2 hours. If you just put on your fucking running clothes and go out and run for an hour, you could get like 7 miles, you know, six miles if you're running at a 10-minute mile pace. you get 6 miles a day in an hour. You know, the faster you run, the more mileage you get. You take those 2 hours. If you're running slow, a 10-minute mile pace, you'll still get 12 miles. If you're running even slower than that, you can still get 10 hours or 10 miles a day in 2 hours, which would be the same time that you'd be at the gym. So, you know, it's about the same amount of time that I was actually. Thanks for killing my helicopter, you asshole. God damn it. What did I do to you? I'm just over here chilling out in this building. Fucking somebody jumps on me. Another guy just blows up my helicopter. But really it's not that much more if you're used to going to the
Be
gym.
advised, there is an enemy squad hunting for you.
And then if you haven't, you know, gone to the gym, or you're not a fitness person, or you don't have that like scheduling down yet, it's going to take sacrifice. Like, people always want to, like, oh, this is easy, you can do it at any time. It's like, nah, if you want to fucking do something, especially like an ultramarathon or any fitness goals, it's going to take a lot of fucking work. It's going to take a lot of time. You're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice your time of things that you normally do. And you're going to have to, you know, shift your shit around. You're going to have to give up stuff. Like, I'm waking up early. I literally wake up early now. So then I can... Oh!
You've got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
What are you doing? Oh, you're trying to knife. Oh. Ow. Ow. Ow!
Learn from the loss.
I was like, what is this guy doing? I thought he was...
The enemy lost track of
I thought we were going to have a fun time, but nope. He was going to knife me. Yeah, but it takes sacrifice. I wake up early so I can play video games, so that I don't think about them all day. Then I can freaking go to work in my regular like 9 to 5, but I do like 10 to 6. And then I get off of work. Right now I'm in New Hampshire alone. So I finish packing up my house because we're moving, and then I'll go and run after that around 8. But when I have my kids around, because I have two kids, and I have a wife, I have a full-time job, so I'll wake up early, play video games, so I'm not fucking thinking about them all day. Go to work. If I'm in peak training and I'm working, and I'm like, if I'm in peak training and I'm like trying to get a lot of mileage, I'll actually run during my lunch break. So I'll usually get like an hour break, and I'll run during my lunch break. I get an hour in either on the treadmill or outside, come back to work, finish up work, eat dinner with the family, hang out with the kids, help my wife put them to bed, and then I'll go at like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. and I'll fucking go and run for an hour to 2 hours, depending on where I'm at in my training. And then it's like usually like 10 or 11. And then I'll hang out with my wife. We'll chill out, watch some YouTube or some stupid shit, talk or whatever we do. Chill out, and then go to bed, rinse and repeat. So there's not a lot of time to like chill out or like just sit around and not do anything. If you want to fucking get something done, schedule it. Like, make a good schedule for yourself and then stick with it. Because once you have that scheduling, once you have your schedule down, then you can find like where areas are where you can start putting in like, you know, time to watch anime and time to fuck around and play on the internet like you want to. Like on the weekends, I always run on the treadmill, or like not on the weekends. A lot of times, or I usually add in time to run on the treadmill so I can watch like anime or, you know, YouTube videos that I want to watch, and I watch them on the treadmill. So try to like fit those in. Try to fit my lazy binge watching stuff in when I'm on the treadmill. Or if I want to listen to like a podcast or anything like that, I'll do it during work while I'm doing mindless like photoshopping or Excel input or whatever it may be. I'll just do all my lazy stuff while I'm doing something else. And now I'm streaming while I'm playing video games, or trying to stream at least a little bit while I play video games. So then hopefully I can get some content creation. Some content creation while I'm actually playing video games. Now, what I'm struggling with right now, what I'm struggling with right now is the YouTube content creation. So I have to figure that out, because I had a good system going with like creating videos and making stuff like that. But lately I've been like, it's been falling to the wayside, because I have a job now that I can't really like do extra stuff on the side while I'm doing my job. So I have to figure out how I can be more consistent with the YouTube videos.
Hunt the enemy down.
And I might have to actually kill. I might actually have to kill my morning video game playing to edit videos instead, if I really want to like give this
Moving here.
YouTube thing the love it needs. Like I'm very inconsistent with the YouTube stuff. I always talk about consistency and blah 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 and all this shit, and then I'm the most inconsistent when it comes to like YouTube and the actual platforms that I'm trying to produce media for. So I have to figure out how to put that into my schedule a little bit better, like an hour a day of like editing or content creation, because I can do all the filming. I can do all the filming and like all that when I'm actually running, but it's like sitting down and editing, that's what takes the most amount of time. But I can do it. I just have to figure it out. I just have to sit down and actually try to figure it out, instead of keep saying that I'm going to figure it out and then not do anything. I have to figure out what kind of media I want to push out to, though. I'm a weirdo. I have a weird background. I have a lot of weird interests. How does that hurt the airplane, the helicopter, every single time you fucking land? Silly.
Gas is moving. Strongholds located. Targets are marked on your attack map.
Moving to my mark.
Keeps keeps un-ADSing me for some reason. Right? Yeah, I'm lagging around, that's why.
Moving here.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what kind of content I want to build out too. I think I have to just like start with just blowing out. Oh shit! Ah!
Proceed to the stronghold and defuse the explosives.
I think I just have to like start. What the fuck? Come on, guy. Ah. Come on. Stop legging around. I need to start with just like getting shit out there first. And then I can worry about like shifting the information. But I'm not 100% sure what people like to see in the ultramarathon.
Precision airstrike. Get to cover. Enemy dropping into the AO.
In the ultramarathon like community. Seems to be very pardon. Seems to be very disjointed. People definitely like race stuff. The bigger races. My Grindstone 100 video is always kills. And then people really like list like top take a
Got a loadout drop inbound.
I have no plates.
You'll have to fight to earn redeployment.
People like lists. People like shoe reviews. Shoe reviews are like really good for like discovery. But I kind of hate doing shoe reviews. I love gear. I love like trying new gear. But I don't like talking about gear too much because my likes and my needs or what I like in things, it's really
You get down up so fucking fast.
what the fuck, dude? I'm like
Redeployment.
I like I might do more gear reviews, but I think I might change them up to be more, I don't even know. I want to try to do them differently than people do them. Guy?
Enemy took that one, but we will
Restart
be
my
back to finish the
something.
job.
Why am I? So, I might try to figure out how to do more of the gear review stuff and more stuff, and then more like humor stuff. I have a really weird sense of humor, so like really dry and sometimes can be pretty dark. Which is, I don't know. Which it's hard to translate, I think. But maybe I'm just being too cautious about it. So I might do like your reviews in my style of just like kind of military style and my bluntness style of just like, hey, this is a piece of shit. Mont Blanc. I got these, and I got the twisties. They have like dials that you like zip on, and they were like 200 fucking bucks. I got these ones for cheaper because I was part of that ultra red team, but the the ones with the knobs were like 200 bucks. And I was like, fuck yeah, a fast ultra trail shoe. This is gonna be dope as. During the 100 milers, I'll always wear the Olympus fours. They're like my favorite. I love these shoes. The only problem is like the tongue. It like cuts into my leg, so I put extra or it cuts into my foot. So I put an extra piece of padding in there, and it helps a lot, and it makes this shoe like fucking great. Great for 100 milers. Great cushion. Great fit. Problems. Yeah, 100%. The Mont Blancs. Yeah, it sucks too because like I had such high hope, so I was like super excited about those fucking shoes. I took them out on a 50K. I did a training run on them. And I was like, man, these are a little tight. They like hurt the arch of my foot. So I took them for a couple runs, and I was like, no, they'll probably break in. I was like, no way, I'm gonna use them. I did like a 15 miler or 16 miles in them, and they were starting to rub a little bit. I was like, hopefully it's just like a break-in issue. Wore them for a couple shorter runs, and then I took them on a 50K Firebird 50K, and after 7 miles of running that fucking race, there was a legit hole in my freaking foot, and it just like ripped a hole in my foot, and I had 27 or no 23, yeah, like 23 more miles to go, and I just switched my socks. I switched my socks and just kept running with a fucking hole in my foot. So for like 20 miles or so, I was just running with a hole in my foot. And after that race, I gave it up. I was like, fuck, like this is a hole. You guys can see that. That was on the arch of my fucking foot. That little hole. Like, how does a shoe create a goddamn hole in an arch of a foot? That makes no sense. And I was like, I fucking got it done. I threw those motherfuckers in the garage, and I was like, fuck this. So fast forward 2 months later, and I was like, no, I'm going to give these fucking shoes another shot because I spent $200 for these shoes. I'll give them another shot. We're in Virginia. I go out and run. Again, 7 fucking miles in. It's always 7 miles in. They start rubbing, and it feels like they're creating a hole in the same spot. So I had to walk back. I did a 14-mile run, and I had to walk back fucking for 4 miles just so I didn't get another cut or 2 cuts in my feet. I was pumped about them too. I'm just on version 2. There's so much potential. Yeah. I'll probably, I don't know. I don't know if I want to risk another $200. I guess you could do like running warehouse, and they have that 30-day like return policy. So I might go through them, or REI, and go through them to get it, and just return them if they start freaking rubbing me again. But I definitely want to try because the feel is awesome. Like the on trail feel is great. Like there's energy return that you never normally feel on trail shoes. It feels fast. It feels tight. Like the ones with the dials is dope as fuck. They look cool. So they got good grip too. I was running in the rain, and they got good grip. It's just the fitting issue is really weird. Like the heel is like terrible, man. Like, and it's everybody that I've seen online. I've seen some pros running in them, and some other people like during races. A couple people in the Vermont 100 were actually wearing these shoes. But like my heel just like slides all around. I actually put an extra padding in the heel, see if it would help out. Still didn't help. It was just sliding all over the place. So something about that heel lock. But Garrett, if you have ever tried the Vanish Tempos, the street version of those, those are fucking great. They have the same feel, but for the road. They have it has a tight heel fit, great toe box, great spring, like everything that you want. I wore the same pair of the Vanish Tempos, the Ultra Vanish Tempos, for the Vermont 100, or leading up to the Vermont 100, during the Vermont 100, the whole race, the leading up to the Yeti 100, and during the Yeti 100, and those were crushed gravel trail and like country roads and stuff like that, and they perform fine. There was a couple like trail sections during the Vermont 100, and they perform fine too. So I probably have like 300 to 400 miles on my red Vanish Tempos, and I still wear them. I wore them last night for an hour and a half treadmill run. But those shoes are great. I like, if there's a god mode in ultra shoes, definitely the Vanish Tempos are the god mode of ultra shoes. I'll probably get another pair just to I'm still skipping around. Is it my mouse? Yeah, I did the whole race in the Vanish Tempos on that creeper trail, and they were fine. I mean, you're probably not going to get as aggressive as a bite as you would with like with any of their like trail shoes. Roads that I like a lot too. There's just not a lot of like spring. Not a lot of like energy return or anything like that for those out roads. But I would go with out roads, or I can't say I would go with the Vanish Tempos just because I don't know your running experience or like how you like to run. I don't really care too much about like trail grip. But like that creeper trail is super well groomed. It's like crushed gravel, and it's very hard. And part of it is actually paved, so you can get away with road shoes. I would like, if you have the opportunity to go down there before, or if you have any like similar trails, I would test them out. But I had no problem with them. And again, that was during we were getting the outer bands of Hurricane Ian. So it was like super wet. So the trail might feel a lot different when it's dry, but when it was wet, it was completely fine. I mean, I know that like that packs down trails a lot, especially those like really tight gravel trails. They'll like pack it down. So it might be a little bit different. But during the first part, I was absolutely fine on that creeper trail. With the Vanish Tempos. Definitely give it a thought or give it a shot. I had no problems with them. But people looked at me like I was fucking crazy wearing road shoes for a 100-miler on the Vermont 100 and the Yeti 100, and I had no problems with my shoes. I had no slipping problems. I had no like foot tiring problems or foot issues. I have pretty strong feet. Though also, just from all the years of actually running in minimalist shoes. Like in the army, I only wore the Merrell trail gloves, which are basically like a little tiny piece of rubber. The first 100-miler I ran was in those Merrell trail gloves, and the first 100K I ran was in the Merrell trail gloves. So I have pretty strong feet, so it might be different for everybody. But definitely try it out though. They were great for me.
Strongholds located. Targets are marked under attack map.
I like sometimes I feel like,
Primary objective is to secure the enemy hard drive.
especially in like the running community, or like whenever there's like a community, people see one thing, or like people see like one thing and they're like, okay, well that's what I have to do. And you'll get that with like anything you do. The military, I mean, I didn't have tattoos, and I wasn't such a big douchebag until I joined the military. So it is part of the culture, but really figuring out what like works for you and works for the terrain for you, that's like the most important thing. So definitely go and test it out and try it out, and don't be swayed like, oh, everybody's wearing Nikes, so now I have to wear Nikes, or everybody's wearing Ultras, so I have to wear Ultras. If you have like a very narrow foot, like my wife, and like really long feet, then Ultras probably wouldn't work that well for you. And it goes from like version of shoe to version of shoe.
Hostile UAV in this sector.
Yeah, I think my mouse was just jittering. It's weird. What race are you doing on the Creeper Trail? There like there 100K there? I'm not too familiar with the Yeti trail systems. I haven't been looking at races this year yet because I've been fucking sick, like over and over again. I was sick for basically like 3 months. So I'm just getting back into training. This is like my second month of like actual training for 2023. So I haven't been looking for races yet. I want to do like 200 milers, a 50 miler, and then maybe sprinkle in some 50Ks for this year. But I still have to figure out like what races I'm actually going to be racing. Up this guy. Hey, not nice. All right, let's go fight this guy. Fuck it.
Requesting recon flyover.
Copy that. UAV is on station.
Going up. Beat him. Oh!
You're in the gulag. Fight for your chance to redeploy.
Oh yeah, the sandal run. I've done that also. I was running in Hirachas, and I fucking nailed a rock with my foot, and I was like, "Fuck this!" It feels really good. Feels really good. It feels like you're super connected to the earth, to the trail and everything like that. All that hippie woo woo stuff, but it's actually really nice. Good for draining. I just got murdered. I just got destroyed twice. God. All right, I gotta get back. But yeah, but yeah, I was running in Hirachas, and then I freaking nailed my toe. It turned black, and I gave up on that idea. But definitely 100% what you're saying is that's why I went into minimalist shoes, because I would get like super bad shin splints when I was getting ready in the military and my first year in the military. So I had really bad shin splints, really bad knees, just like going into the military. And I read Born to Run. I'm sure you have read it too, and everybody's read it. But like that really made me transition into minimalist shoes, and my knee problems and my shin splints like dramatically decreased. Like I did it very slowly. I transitioned over a course of like 2 years, where Nike used to have a system where the drop would go lower and lower, and I started at like 6, then went down to 3, then went down to 1, like 1 drop, and then 0, and then I transitioned out of Nikes into minimalist shoes, and that took about 2 years to do, just because I didn't want to, like, if you do it too quickly, you can get injured. So that dramatically reduced my shin splints. I still had a little bit of knee issues, but it dramatically reduced my my shin splints. So anytime my feet are feeling very like beat up or anything, I'll like go back into those trail gloves and do like recovery runs in like minimalist shoes, because you're a lot lighter on your feet and you're a lot less impactful on your feet. And I am pretty sure that's how you're supposed to run. I stopped doing it just because trails can stab your foot and stuff, but yeah, whenever I want to like stretch out my feet, I always go back into my minimalist shoes. The Yeti 50, the damn Yeti seems pretty cool. I like running on trails because you can kind of just tunnel vision into it, and then like really focus on your breathing or really focus on your pace, like be very like trance like. The Yeti 100 is super cool if you're running in the same parts that we are, because
Holding for deployment.
there's like
This time to warm up.
the normal tunnel, like the normal rail trail tunnel, but then also like there's like these cool bridges that go over like I think it's a stream or a river. So there's some cool views on that actual trail. There's a lot of tunnels, but then you'll like hit these bridges that are like really cool. I feel like pressure just goes from like one place to another. It's like, oh, my knees are good. Oh, now my ankles hurt. Oh, my freaking legs are completely good, and then my shoulders start like freaking getting destroyed. What I do for my knees now is I have a slant board. It's like angled like this. And I'll do like decline squats, I'll do knee pops, and then I'll do eccentric one-legged calf raises. So those 3 workouts have like dramatically helped my knees. And then when my shoulders and my feet start hurting, for your feet, if you've tried a lacrosse ball, that really helps my feet when they're feeling really tired. You just get a lacrosse ball, and then while you're like working at your desk or you're working, you just kind of roll it on the arch of your foot, on the ball of your foot and everything, and just let it like melt over that lacrosse ball. And that thing like really helps with the myofascial release and stretching out all those small tiny little bones that are in your foot. But that really helps. And then even just standing on like your roller, like if you have a foam roller or anything, like so like pretty much just get a lacrosse ball or a foam roller, stand on it or put pressure on it, and just make it feel. Try to like think of it like melting over that ball, and that really helps stretch everything out.
Be advised, there is an enemy squad hunting for you.
Hell yeah. Yeah, the lacrosse balls are dope. Oh my god! Oh my god! That dude just murdered my ass. And then if you're in a line of work where you can, CBD oil. I don't know what everybody's take on that is. But like my shoulders are like trash, and I can't even do like military press or anything. And even if I like lay on my side too much, my shoulders are just on fire all the time. But if I take a lot of CBD oil, like 50 milligrams a day, pretty much, it like dramatically decreases the inflammation in my body. So if you can, I would try CBD. I don't even know if that's like, I'm not a medical expert, of course, not a doctor, but for me personally, man, CBD oil has like helped my soreness dramatically on all portions of my body. And it's not a fix-all, solve-all. If you reduce like any inflammation, inflammatory things like sugar intake, if I'm eating a shitload of sugar, like my shoulders start hurting, my feet start hurting a lot more, my knees start hurting a lot more. But just reducing that inflammation as much as possible really helps all parts of your body. I might have to look into that damn Yeti. Because if it's not sold out, I'll be generally in that area. I might have to go and hit it up. Because June would be a good one. Good one.
You got gas moving in.
A June 50 miler would be good for like an August. Maybe like an early August, like 100 miler.
Intel has located multiple strongholds.
I might have to look. I'll have to see which 100 miler I'll have to see what 100 miler I end up running this year, or which 100 milers I end up running this year, and then I'll check out that Yeti 50. I like the environment. I like the Yeti environment. I like the people. They seem pretty chill, pretty cool. Little crazy. Their buckles and their like swags really cool too. When I ran the Yeti 100, they gave us a skateboard deck. So I want to get some like cruising wheels on that and just like cruise around. Pretty cool. They gave you like skateboard deck, stickers, a bunch of shit actually. The dude that won that 100 miler, I did it in like 21 hours, 22 hours or something. And the guy that did it, or like won it, he did it in like 15 fucking hours. It was like 14 or 15 hours. It's like, God. Yeah, I'm moving from New Hampshire, and I'll be in like the Virginia area. So right now I'm up here packing and all that shit. And then I'll be in Virginia once we actually get a house and stuff like that. But I work for Black Rifle Coffee. In their social media department, I'm a project manager with Black Rifle Coffee. So basically build up and manage all their social media projects that they're working on. And then it's full remote. So I can just pretty much live wherever I want to. And my family's down there. My wife's family's all down there, so we're moving up there. The trail community's fucking dope there. As you're saying, like I ran the OSS and CIA 50 miler. I think it's a 50 miler. I ran the Grindstone. I ran like a lot of those Virginia runs. So really looking forward into seeing if there's like a cool run club there, or do a lot more of their runs. A lot of people actually that like follow my channel Virginia, DC based runners. It's a cool area, man.
Got a loadout drop inbound.
Those fucking trails are ridiculous. They're like I didn't think they would be that bad. But I did 12 miles before I left to come back up here to pack up. And in those 12 miles, I got 2,200 fucking feet of elevation gain. The entire time I was running, I was just going up or down. I was like, fuck, dude. Like, I don't even get those kind of fucking trails. I don't even get those trails in New Hampshire. Like, you can go up mountains up here. Hey, who's breaking glass? Charlottesville, I think. Yeah, the Shenandoah has awesome fucking races. That's where like the grindstone and stuff are. They have a Monatook or something. I forgot what it's called. They have another really hard race. It's like the Terran race group or something. They're actually part of the UTMB. Was it Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're part of like UTMB now, the grindstone. So there's going to be a lot of like bigger runners going to the grindstone this year. So yeah, that scene is really blowing up. I like to see what some of these pro runners are going to do with the grindstone. I'm pretty sure Beat Goat Carl Metzger, he had the record for the grindstone 100 at like, I think it was like 17 hours or 16 hours or something. It'll be interesting to see what this like new breed of pro runners are going to be doing to the grindstone 100, because it's been getting faster and faster, which I have no fucking idea how people can run fast on that trail. Maybe I'm building it up because it was my first 100 miler and I got my ass kicked so bad.
The enemy lost track of you. You're safe.
Shit. There's two guys right next to each other.
Impact, no joy.
Guy winning. Quiet. Where did this guy go? Yeah, it's great for training though. I mean, a lot of the trails in Virginia get like a shitload of vert, but then they're runnable too. So like you're going up and down, but you're actually running. You're getting that stimulus of running, and like, cause like a lot of the like highly vert or high elevation trails in New Hampshire, you have to like kind of climb and scramble up. So you can't really run while you're doing it. Like the grades are too steep to actually get running in. But in Virginia, you can run the entire time. You might be running slow because you're going uphill, but you get that stimulus of like running up and down. And that's really what killed me the first time with the grindstone 100, is that down. My hamstrings and my quads really got fucking smoked from hammering down hammering down the mountain over and over again, which I didn't get good training doing before the Grindstone 100. So I could totally see how.
Gas is closing.
Whoa, whoa,
Get
whoa,
to
whoa,
the new
whoa!
safe zone.
He's up in the tower. What the fuck?
Hostiles
No,
listed as
no,
extras. Get to
no!
cover.
Leave me alone. Stop. Be nice. So yeah, I could totally see like
Turn to base for three.
DC runners like starting to pop up
Area marked. You're cleared hot.
in like the pro status because like there's so many races, there's so much stuff going on in the DC area, and it's like the trails are really good too. All right, I gotta go to work. That was a fun stream. So what I'm trying to do, I'm kind of doing research for some Black Rifle Coffee stuff, and I'm working out all the kinks on this YouTube stream. So I should be streaming Monday through Friday, like 2 hours every day. So probably my next stream, if I don't get bored during the weekend, which I might, I get all the packing done. My next stream will probably be Monday through Friday, usually around 8 a.m. till 11 a.m. and then I jump into work. So you guys want to ask any questions about Ultramarathon, about the military, whatever it may be, just pop into the live stream, drop me a like, drop me a comment, whatever it may be, and we'll be here again Monday through Friday, probably for 2 hours each. Virginia State Parks Adventure Series. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. I love biking and shit too. So not too much about not too crazy about fucking swimming, but I always have to do stuff that I hate, so I might get back into it. But I'll definitely check that out. But if you guys wanna go in, you can go on twitch.tv Ranger Legs, or you can go on YouTube also. I'm streaming on both just to try to figure out which one I wanna play with, and then trying to figure out the intricacies, more of the tech portion of streaming for Black Rifle Coffee. So hit me up if you have any questions. Let me know. I'll try to get back onto the grind also. Nope. Have a good day. Enjoy your day. Get out there. Be consistent. Become an average savage. Kick